Right, Manchester United have been linked to every central midfielder under the sun this summer, and it's just getting out of hand now. So the man now who's linked with Manchester United is Sander Berge, the lad at Burnley. We know him from Sheffield United as well, Norwegian international. It's on paper, it's an underwhelming one for Manchester United fans. It's an underwhelming name. But if we talk about the actual player himself, he's one of these guys that I actually think is quite underrated. I think he's quite a good player, but he's so we definitely, if United want to bring him in as an 8 and maybe a replacement for McTominay, I'd like to think that's a bit of a step up. I think it'll be a good signing. I think Sander Berge is a better player than McTominay, so I'm all for that. I think he'll surprise a few people, put him in a better team, and yeah, I think he's good. He's really good at driving the ball forward. He's big, he's strong. He's got an eye for a goal as well. He's a goal scorer. We didn't really see that much for Burnley last season, but you can definitely get the odd goal here and there. And he likes to progress the ball forward. He's very composed. The ball moves in slow motion with him. He's just got this, he just glides with the ball. Good player. But he's not a defensive midfielder. So I'm quite shocked United are willing to bring him in, because they're crying out for a defensive midfielder. It must mean that McTominay's definitely leaving. It must be, because why else would you bring in someone like Sander Berge? But he's not a defensive midfielder. So instead of maybe pushing for players like him, I personally think they should have been going for someone like Zubimendi and pushing hard. West Ham might get Todibo. If they can attract someone like Todibo, you're telling me United can't attract someone like Zubimendi to the club? At least give it a go. I just think Ugarte was another one they needed to bring in. That seems to have calmed down. Man United need a defensive midfielder. Sander Berge is not a defensive midfielder. You look at Kobbie Mainoo. I know Kobbie Mainoo can play as a defensive midfielder, but he's not one. For me, he's an 8, not a 6, because I think if you play him as a 6, you lose so much of what Mainoo can offer. Same with Sander Berge. If you play Sander Berge as a defensive midfielder, you lose so much, because they're so good at going forward and driving and gliding with the ball. You lose something. You don't really want to be playing those guys in defensive midfield. That's why I think Declan Rice, Arteta doesn't really want Declan Rice to be the 6 anymore, because he's so good at progressing the ball forward. And I think that's why United just need a bit of cover defensively in the midfield to allow the likes of Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes to go forward. And if Sander Berge comes in, maybe Yusuf Fofana. But they need that defensive midfielder. Sander Berge is not the answer. United have got a game in 7 days now. I think it's Fulham at home. They've got to hurry up now. They need that defensive midfielder, because it's getting really, really close. And they're going to keep leaking goals left, right and centre. Casemiro is done. He's done at the highest level. And it's as simple as that. His legs are gone. Same with Varane. And that's the facts around it. So even though I think Sander Berge is a good player and he will be a good signing, United probably need to be targeting the other side of the midfield, so the defensive midfield. And yeah, they're going to need to hurry up, because time's ticking and they got to get that holding midfielder in.